Good morning, boys. In my last class, I discussed about the production possibility curve. Actually, I am doing chapter number 1, and in that chapter, the last topic is factors of production. We have to discuss about the factors of production. Before doing that, we have to obviously know that what is the meaning of production. Production implies transformation of inputs into output. For example, I am using labor L, capital K, and with the use of this labor and capital, I am producing one commodity which is, say, for example, X. So this is this process by which this labor and capital are transformed into another commodity. This process is known as production. I think it is clear now. So production is a process by which the inputs, these labor capital, they are called inputs. They are known as inputs. These inputs are transformed into output. This final product is called output. Got the point? So, production is a process by which these inputs are transformed into output. This is one type of definition of production. Another type of production definition, another group of economists who also define production as it is the creation of utility. For example, when you are producing a commodity X, that X is produced to be consumed, some people will consume that. So it is the creation of utility. So both the types of definition of production are there. One says that it is the conversion or transformation of inputs into output. Another economist, another group of economists rather, argue that production is nothing but the creation of utility. Whatever be, here we are going to discuss the factors of production, that is, when I am going to produce any output, any commodity, what are the basic factors I require? What are the basic things, basic materials I require? Generally, there are four basic factors of production: land, labor, capital, organization or entrepreneur. These four are the basic factors of production. We have to know about them. First of all, we are talking about land. What is a land? We all know it is a fixed factor of production. The mobility of land is zero, the most immobile factor of production. And it is considered that it is a free gift of nature. It is a gift from nature which is free. So it has no cost of production. And that's why the supply of land is also fixed. These are the points we have to remember about land. Okay. Next we are going to labor. First of all, regarding labor, the first point must be very clear that by labor, we basically mean the service provided by the laborer. Remember that. A worker is working in your factory. That worker is not treated as labor. The service that he is providing, it is a service which is invisible. Land is a visible factor of production. Labor is an invisible factor of production. It is the service provided by the worker. And obviously, this labor is the most immobile factor of production. A laborer, a worker can move from anywhere to anywhere. So that is why it is the most immobile factor, most mobile factor of production. Okay. The next point is regarding labor. The concept of division of labor is there. This term is very important. What do you mean by division of labor? Whenever I am talking about labor, this concept is very important. Now, what do you mean by division of labor? Division of labor implies, see, in a big farm, when I am talking about the large farm, large scale production, it is not possible for the owner, for the entrepreneur, to to do all the things it required for production level, from procurement of the material, then operation, then marketing. It is not possible. It is possible for a small scale production. But when I'm talking about the large scale production, it is not possible. And at that time, what the entrepreneur, what the owner can do, he can divide. He can divide the total job into a number of workers. This division of total work among the workers is known as division of labor. Remember, nowadays the modern production system crucially depends on this start. It has been proved that by division of labor, the productivity, the efficiency of labor increases. As a result of that, the firm earns more profit. And why this is done? That the main logic behind this is, see, when a worker is doing the same job every day, it is quite natural his efficiency will increase, and as a result of that, he is able rather to produce more goods, and for that ultimately the farm gains. So that is why division of labor, remember whenever we are talking about labor, division of labor concept comes. It is very important, at least in modern production system. Division of labor, why it is important? It is important because it raises the productivity or efficiency of labor. As a result of that, the farm earns more profit. And second point is, this division of labor concept is applicable only for large scale production unit. In small scale, division of labor is not applicable. It is not profitable rather. Whenever you are going to produce in a large scale, only then this concept is profitable. Now, this is about labor. Capital, in my opinion, is the most important factor of production, and we need a detailed discussion on that. First of all, what is capital? See, generally, by capital, we mean the assets I have, the assets the firm has. These are known as capital in general sense. But whenever we are talking about economics, in economic terms, those assets may or may not be capital. Capital has got some other definition. You please write it down. The definition of capital is all man-made instruments used for further production. I repeat, capital is defined as all man-made instruments, man-made, which are made by man, man-made instruments used for further production. So, 2 points are important in this definition. Number one, it should be man-made, and number two, it should be used for further production. For example, a sewing machine used by a tailor. That machine is man-made and it is used by the tailor for the further production. So a sewing machine is a capital. A hammer, it is man-made, it is used for further production, capital. A computer when it is used in any company, used by a farm, it is a capital. Man-made is for further production. But when the same computer is there at your home, it is not capital because it is man-made, but it is for recreation purpose. It is not helping in creating any goods or services. Clear? Similarly, a thermal power project. It's capital? Yes, it is capital. A school building, capital or not? Yes, it is capital. Why? Because school building man-made and it is used for creation of human capital. That's why a school building is also a college, a university. All these are treated as capital. So the definition of capital is very important. In your exam, certain examples will be given and the question will be judge whether the following are capital or not. You have to write which one is capital, which one is not. Putting this logic, whether it is man-made, whether it is used for further production. Clear? The second point that is required to explain in connection of capital is this part, capital formation. Very, very, very important. What do you mean by capital formation? Before going to that, be very clear, boys, that every country has some stock of capital. No country can say that no, I don't have any capital. No country can say that. Every country has some stock of capital. For example, at the beginning of a year, a country has a 0 units of capital. I have this amount of capital in my country. Okay? And at the end of the year, I have a 1 amount of capital. Okay? Now, if this K1 is greater than K0, then K1 minus K0, this is known as capital formation. That is the change in the capital. K1 is at the end of the year, K0 was at the beginning of the year. This difference, K1 minus K0, this is known as capital formation of the country during that year. I think it is understood now. Now, the second point we have to know that if this is capital formation, then how this capital formation takes place. Remember, for capital formation, three things are very important. Number one you require is increasing your savings. Increasing savings. In any country, savings should increase. Otherwise, capital formation does not take place. Why? Because there should be mobilization of savings. What do you mean by mobilization of savings? For example, I have saved a lot of money, but I have kept all the money at my home. It is not effective. It is not helping in creating capital in the country. What is required is to mobilize this saving. That is, I have to put my savings into some banks or other LIC or post office, non-banking financial institutions. In any banking or non-banking financial institutions should get enough fund from savings. Am I clear? This transfer of funds from individual ownership to banks and other non-banking financial institutions is known as mobilization of savings. So the first, what you require, your savings should increase. If with all my income, I only consume, I don't save, then it is not good for the country. I should save. And secondly, not only I should save, I should put the money in the banks or other non-banking financial institutions. That is mobilization of savings. Clear? The third and the last point is real act of investment. Real act of investment. What is the meaning of that? Now you have saved, you have transferred your savings into banks. Now it is the responsibility of these banks to invest those money in proper place. Why I am using the term proper place? Because see, in any economy, two types of commodities are produced. One is known as consumer product, consumer goods, and another is known as capital goods. Consumer goods implies directly you used by the consumption for the consumption purpose. And capital goods are the goods which are produced by the farm for the further production. This real act of investment implies the banks and the non-banking financial institutions should invest more and more in capital goods sector. Not here. If you invest more here, capital will not be generated in the economy. Understood? Capital is generated only when your investment in capital goods sector is higher. For example, the government, the country should invest more in computers, more in production of machines, not only TV and mobile or garments. That is not good for future capital formation. The government should encourage for the production of more capital goods in the country. So, whatever the thing what I want to point out, capital formation is successful in the country only when these three criteria are satisfied. Number one, saving should increase. Number two, the saving should be mobilized into banks and non-banking financial institutions. And thirdly, the banks and the non-banking financial institution should invest in capital goods sector more and more compared to consumer goods sector. This is about capital. The last factor of production is organization or entrepreneurship. This organization or entrepreneur is again a service provided by the owner, and it is very important because it is the responsibility of the organizer to make a coordination among all three. It is the organizer, it is the entrepreneur who plays a key role, who plays the role of a captain. That's why entrepreneur is also known as captain of the industry. He, number one, firstly, takes bears all the risk and uncertainty of the business. Number two, he makes a coordination among all the factors of production, from where the material will be purchased, how the production will be take place, how which technology will be used, and finally how to market the product. So everything, every decision, each and every important decision is taken by the organizer, the entrepreneur. That's why his role is so important, and that's why he is known as the captain of the industry. Another difference that organizers have with the rest of the factors of production is, for land, labor, capital, the prices are predetermined. Before the start of production, the landowner fixes the price, worker fixes his wage, capital, prices are fixed. That is, interest is also fixed. But organizer, his income is not predetermined. His income, that is profit, is determined after production, post production. That is uncertain. Some sort of uncertainty is there in his income. Okay? Whenever I am talking about organizer, another important concept comes, that is known as delegation of function. What do you mean by delegation of function? As I told you in division of labor in a large scale farm, it is not possible for the owner to supervise, to take care of all the aspects of production. That's why the work is divided. In delegation of function, when the owner is delegating his power, authority to his subordinates for this division of labor, it is known as delegation of function. The owner is not able to take care of all the aspects, so he is delegating his authority to his subordinates. For example, managers. The managers may not be able to take care of all the aspects. The manager is delegating the power to his subordinates. In this way, the power is delegated up to the bottom line. This is known as delegation of function. Remember, just like this delegation of function is possible for the large scale production. In small scale, or in any agricultural production, this concept is not relevant at all. If you go to any village, you can see some handicraft industry is there. That is a small scale industry. All the family members are doing the job. In that case, delegation is not possible there. Everyone is doing the job. They are divided among themselves. They are doing. This concept delegation of function is relevant only for large scale production unit, not for small scale. Clear? So this is all the things you require. Another point that I want to point out that when I missed it for I think when I'm talking about capital, I told you that the definition of capital is all man-made instruments used for further production. A obvious question comes from the student side that ma'am, is money is capital? Now here, what will be the answer? The answer is for money. When I'm talking about money, it is man-made. If I put it in the definition of capital, it is man-made. But regarding the second issue, that it is not directly used for production purpose, indirectly used. That's why for money, the economists use another term that is money capital. Okay. So for money, we will say it is money capital. And another thing for capital, I have given a few examples. A school building, computer, for example, a doctor's car. It is capital or not? Yes. When the doctor's car is used for the service of a doctor, then it is capital because it is creating human capital. Okay. Similarly, some examples can be given for capital formation. For example, a thermal power project is developed by the government. It is capital formation or not? Yes. But example is you have made a garden in your balcony. It is capital formation or not? Obviously no. Man-made. But it is not giving you any commercial production. So gardening in the balcony, then government expenditure on flood relief camps. Is it capital formation? Obviously no. But government expenditure on literacy programs, poverty eradication programs, they are capital formation or not? Yes. They are creating human capital. Okay. So with this discussion, the first chapter completed. I complete the chapter number 1. Next day, I will start a new chapter. Now, it is your task is to see all my videos on this chapter, write down the notes on the basis of the video that I told you each and every point which is important, and then I think you have got at least one economics book. At the end of the chapter, you will see certain questions are there. Please try to solve at least the MCQs and the objective type question. I am not telling you to solve any broad question. 5 marks questions are not required. Only you try to solve the objective type question, MCQ or 1 marks, 2 marks questions. That enough. Okay, you do it. Next day, I will start next chapter. Thank you.